you're on your weight loss journey on Mounjaro and Wegovy and you feel really tired, it might be one of the side effects, but it might be other things like iron deficiency. I'm Zeinab, I'm the pharmacist from PillSorted, and I'm going to explain what is iron deficiency, why can it happen more when you're on your weight loss journey and on the GLP injections, and how do we treat it. Why is iron so important? Because iron is an essential part of the protein called hemoglobin that's part of your red blood cells, and it helps your body move around the oxygen. So if you don't have enough iron, your body doesn't get enough oxygen. That's why you feel tired and you feel cold. So feeling tired and feeling cold is one of the most important symptoms that you feel, but things like not being able to concentrate, your hair falling can be signs of them as well. A lot of the times people feel this is the GLP side effects, and it can be, but if there is a iron deficiency, the GLPs can increase that risk for a couple of different reasons. First of all, because you're eating less of everything. You're getting less of the nutrients that your body needs, and one of them is the iron. The other one is the recommended daily intake for women is 14.8 milligrams. For men is almost half of that, so it's 8.5 milligrams. And when you don't have enough of an appetite, hitting that target is quite difficult. For women, we're more at risk, especially at the premenopausal, because that's the time that we're starting putting on weight, and most of us are on the GLPs, and you still have the monthly cycle, so you're still losing blood, hence you need a lot more of the iron, so it can bring up the iron deficiency much faster. How do we treat it? There are natural sources of iron. There are two types of iron that you can get from your diet. One is called the heme iron, that's from the animal products, things like meat, fish, poultry. All of these have got the heme version of the iron, which is easier to absorb for our body. Then there is the non-heme version of iron, which is the ones that we can get from plant-based, and the non-heme iron has got a much more fluctuation in their absorption. Okay, foods like lentils, beans, spinach, all of these are really good with the amount of iron they have. There's a couple of important steps that you can take that can increase the amount of absorption of your iron. One is, if you pair it with vitamin C, it really helps the absorption become a lot more. So for example, if you have spinach with bell pepper, or if you have orange juice with your food, it really helps the absorption of your iron. And the other thing is, don't take foods that have got a lot of iron with them at the same time of tea and coffee and milk, because these things will reduce the absorption of your iron. Now, iron supplements. There's lots of different kind of iron supplements. So what we compare them with is the elemental iron amount that they have. There are lots of different iron supplements in the UK as well. I'm going to tell you the different versions of them and how much elemental iron they translate to, because that's the important thing, that our body needs the elemental iron. So for example, there's ferrous fumarate, there's ferrous gluconate, there's ferrous sulfate, there's new version ferrous bisglycinate. All of these differ from the amount of elemental iron that they release in our body and their side effects. So most of the iron supplements cause gastrointestinal, so they can bring a little bit of bloating, they can cause either constipation, they can bring a little bit of diarrhea maybe, they change the color of your poo as well. But it really depends which one you find more comfortable as a supplement to take. Another very important thing is, too high of an iron supplement or dose can be harmful for your body. So we don't want you to go higher than the recommended daily allowance. If you take 4 iron tablets per day, you're not actually helping your body. It's not going to make it any faster for your anemia to go away. Stick to the routine, take 1 a day, but help that absorption by having it far from other drinks and food and with orange juice. When you're on your weight loss journey, and if you feel these symptoms of tiredness and feeling cold, we would advise the first thing is ask for your blood test, that they will check your hemoglobin, your iron levels, your ferritin, and these will give you a good picture of how you are in terms of your iron stores. Another important thing that I want to talk about is there are a lot of common medications that have got interactions with iron tablets. So a lot of women that are on their GLP injections have actually underactive thyroids as well. So they're taking levothyroxine tablets. Even if you're not taking GLP medications, but you have an underactive thyroid and taking levothyroxine, it's really important that you don't take the levothyroxine and the iron tablets at the same time. In terms of which one's most important, by far your levothyroxine is the most important to take it first thing in the morning before any food or drink, okay? Put the iron later on in the day, so put it a couple of hours difference with your levothyroxine. The other one that's quite commonly prescribed with the GLPs as a side effect way of management is actually the antacids. So omeprazole was the most commonly prescribed medication just as far as 2-3 years ago. Now it's not, because there's lots of different options, but still omeprazole, pantoprazole, lansoprazole, these are on a lot of prescriptions. So a lot of people take it. And when you're on the GLP medications, again, to relieve the reflux, if you take it at the same time of your iron tablets, it will affect the absorption of your iron tablets. So please don't take them at the same time. The third medication, again, that's quite common is the bisphosphonate, so the alendronic acid. And we give it for actually menopausal women for the bone protection. Again, the same group of us that use the GLP injections. So when you're taking the alendronic acid, there usually is a once weekly dose. It will interact with the absorption of the iron, so we don't want them to be taken at the same time. Ideally, the day that you're taking the alendronic acid, you can skip your iron tablet or leave it as far as possible from each other. Now, the reason that I want to bring up these medicines is the combination of GLP medications plus PPIs, so omeprazole, lansoprazole, plus levothyroxine, plus iron is very common and is something that I hear every day from our different patients. Getting the timings is really important because we don't want any of the medicines not to work and we don't want them to interact with each other. So if I wanted to spread these four, take the levothyroxine first thing in the morning. You can take your PPIs closer to your food time and take your iron later in the day, dinner time, after dinner time. What are the things to look out for? It will take a couple of weeks for the iron reservoirs in your body to get filled and your blood cells to be replenished and you feel much more energy back. So don't think it's going to work within a day or two. It will take a couple of weeks. But after a couple of weeks, if you still feel tired, if you still feel cold, or if you do another blood test and you see the levels are not getting any better, that's the time that we need to do further investigations. Unusual symptoms, like if you feel that you're craving for awkward things like chalk or ice, or you have restless legs at night time, these can be deficiencies as well that we can look into further. As a recap, feeling tired on the GLP injections is quite common. We'll look into the different reasons, but in the case of iron deficiency, is an important one to do a blood test so that we know what are the levels of your blood cells and your irons, and then we can take it from there. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us for that clinician-led health advice. Thank you.